I will configure the ISP network. Only IP address is required in this simulation. So just double click. This will be your router 1. Can you see this screen? Show IP interface brief. So by default, this is what you will see once you're using this command, show IP interface brief. This is your status, meaning indicating layer 1 information. And possible combination here, what you want to see, status and protocol must be in up state. If both is up, that means there is no problem with the layer 1 and layer 2. In this example, this is my ISP router. So I will go to the global mode. In Cisco, that is this one is the privilege mode. This one is the global mode. When you're typing the command config T, you go back, again exit, and then press enter. This is your privilege mode. To go to the global mode, you have a command config terminal, and here I will configure loopback interface to simulate the 888 IP address. The IP address is 88888, and I'm configuring with host route, meaning /32 subnet mask. Then I have a link facing towards edge router, enterprise edge, and that one is using IP addressing scheme 192.169.12.1, and this one is your /24 subnet mask. Because link is in a down state, so bring the link in up state. So this is the only information required in this topology for ISP router. Show IP interface brief. So I'm configuring this interface with this IP. You can see now the status and protocol is in up state. Since it has only two link, it will install two root in the routing table. So directly connected root is identified with C. Show IP root, you can see these are the only root is available in the ISP router. Okay, then go to your edge router, which is router number 2, and once again configure the IP address.
Can you show the eigrp test
in router number 1? Okay.
In router 2.
Yeah, here nothing is configured. To show IP interface brief, it is blank.
Okay.
All this is in shutdown state. So here I will say I will go to F00, IP address 192.169.12.2, and this is your subnet mask. Bring the link in up state. Your internal interface F1/0. This is facing to R3, and within the organizations I'm using private IP. With the hierarchical scheme is first 2 octet will be common, third and fourth, in this case we are using this approach to configuring IP number, no shutdown. Next interface I have F1/1. Bring the link in upstate by using no shutdown command, and then link facing to R4, which is 34 dot no, it will be 24, right? 24.2. And so far if I see the routing table, I will see three directly connected root. 23.0 connecting to F1/0, 24.0 connected with F1/1, and this one 12.0 is connected with F00. In these examples, because this root is directly connected, I should able to ping 192.169.12.1. I can ping 12.1, but here since I do not know 888, so router will send ping request. It will check local routing table because root is not there, packet is dropped, and you will see dot 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 dot. This is indication that there is no root.
There's no default route.
There is no, yeah, so there is no route, there is no specific route is available to reach this destination, because this destination is unknown for us, that is behind the ISP cloud. So only possible solution here, this is also known as a single home topology, one link to your ISP, single home. And in single home topology, best possible solution is simply configure static default route. So IP route 0000, all source, all destination. Next hop is 192.169.12.1. This will create a static default route in the routing table. So you can see by default administrative distance is 1. Metric always will be 0 because there is no CPU overhead, because root is manually installed by the administrator. S with star, this is indication that this is the candidate of default route. Candidate default route. So now since I don't have 888, but now I have default route. So with this logic I should able to ping 88888 and it is reachable. The traffic is now passing through the default route logic. Router always check most specific update first, and if there is most specific update is not available, then it will look for default route. If there is no default route, then the packet is dropped. Next is, now within the organizations we are running eigrp in these examples. So you need to start the process router eigrp with AS number. So you can see if I'm writing this, so you have this is your AS number range, 16-bit number. Okay, so I can pick any number. In these examples we are using 1 2 3. Once you pick, make sure this number will be common in all the router. Now the process I'm running here, and if I'm running the command show IP protocol, I can see by default starting with the iOS version 15.0, automatic summarization is default disabled, and this is recommended. If you see this, and for example if I say auto summary do show IP protocol, and I can see the automatic summarization is enabled, which is not recommended. Reason being, eigrp does automatic summarization only for class full network. Do not understand VLSM and CIDR concept. So this can create connectivity problem. Because of this reason, starting with the iOS model 15.0, automatic summarization is default disabled, and it is recommended to keep it disabled. And how would you doing this? Simple command no auto summary. So now if I see show IP protocol here, I can see routing protocol I'm running eigrp with AS number is 1 2 3. These are your 5 composite attribute K values. So this one is my bandwidth, that one is my load, this one is my delay, this one is my reliability, and MTU. So by default the recommended metric for eigrp is only bandwidth and delay. Now you can see here, I'll show you this the concept of active timer. This will happen when the eigrp is searching for alternate path in the absence of feasible successor. So the eigrp router is expecting reply within the 3 minutes. After that it will reset all the configuration. So long time to converge.
Locking, active, right? Something like that.
This is
I think there's a concept like locked inactive or something.
stuck inactive.
Yes, stuck inactive.
Stuck inactive enhancement is done starting with the iOS 12.4, because earlier it was only silently waiting for to expire 3 minutes. But now what will happen, it will send one more query message that what will happen, why you not sending the reply me back. So this will happen, suppose in this example default active timer is 3 minutes, meaning 180 seconds. When this time pass up to the 90 seconds, it will send one more message. That is known as stuck inactive message. So here let me demonstrate this process.
I'm coming. The active timer sets to 3 minutes. You said after the 3 minutes, it will reset to the whole.
It will reset the configuration between the neighbors who is not giving reply.
Oh.
Who is not giving reply.
That will be taken off from the routing table.
Yeah, so root is removed from the routing table. It's long time to converge. You can also see this one, distance for internal root is 90 and for external is 170. By default administrative distance for eigrp. Maximum path 4, meaning it can install 4 best path, and this is only for equal cost. Reason being, variance is 1. Variance 1 meaning by default eigrp only support equal cost load balance. And then you have summarization is disabled, which is recommended, and right now no network is advertised. You can see routing for network is not visible here. And there is also one more command, do show IP eigrp interface. This will give the information that on which interfaces eigrp is running. So you will see it will say no usable router ID. So there is no network is advertised. That means I cannot give any information. Now in these examples, I need to advertise my network only private IP, and we know that we are using first to octet is fixed. So first to octet I'm using here 172.16. Third and fourth could be anything from 122.54, 122.54. This is I'm advertising with the help of wildcard concept. So in eigrp, wildcard is optional, but it is recommended. So this will allow you to send specific update according to your control. So which routing update you want to send, you can control with the help of wildcard. But wildcard is optional. In these examples, I only want to send what is the policy? I'm saying first to octet should be 172.16.
Yeah.
If any other update you will see which is not matching this first to octet, do not advertise. But third and fourth could be anything, 122.54, 122.54. So in these examples, my third octet is 23 and 24. So that will be advertised. So this way I'm advertising directly connecting network in the eigrp process. So now if I see do show IP protocol, and here because default subnet mask for this one is /16, so the specific subnet mask information is not visible. If you're using for example 190, if you're using mask is /24, then you will also see the /24 value in this field. So now it will say routing for this network is advertised, meaning is any interface which is configured with first to octet, I will send eigrp update through those interfaces. This is I can confirm by using the command eigrp interface. So in this example, this interface is configured with 192 flag, so which is not under this range, so that is not participating in eigrp. So I only have f1/0 and f1/1. So this is indication that which interface is participating in eigrp sending and receiving updates. Now once I do this, show IP eigrp interface interface. There is also command detail. Detail command will also let you know that what is the timer, default timer for eigrp. You can see default hello timer is 5 seconds with the hold down is 15 seconds. And by default there is no authentication is configured. By default split horizon is enabled. This is a rule on advanced distance vector to avoid looping. But I will not see any eigrp neighbor here because I'm sending the hello. I'm sending hello but I'm not receiving any hello message. So there is no neighbor discovery yet. But if I debug eigrp packet, debug eigrp neighbor, let's say neighbor, so there is no neighbor discovery on all. I will say debug eigrp. So eigrp is using different types of packet, like the most common is hello, and then you have update, acknowledgement. In these examples I'm sending hello message with every 5 seconds. You can see here, stop this debugging on all. So eigrp is sending hello message. You can see eigrp is sending hello on this interface by using AS number 123. So only sending hello, not receiving anything, no reply. So similarly I need to configure all the router. So go to router number 3 and configure same IP addressing and eigrp. Same copy and paste. IP interface, this link is facing to 23.3. F1/0, this link is facing to R4. 172.16.34.3 and F1/1 is the link facing down to branch router 172.16.35.3, and then configure eigrp process 123 with the network 172.16.0.0. This is your wildcard. In the running configuration, if I say this, do show run sign of pipe section router eigrp. So wildcard is not visible here because this is the default subnet mask for class B. But now I can see summarization, and I can see the neighborship discovery here. So show IP eigrp neighbor. I'm expecting one neighbor so far. So this router 3 is making neighborship, H meaning order or hierarchy in which neighbor is discovered. This is the neighbor IP address, which is 172.16.23.2, this link IP. This is your directly connected interface. Through that you're sending hello message or receiving, also sending and receiving hello. By default hold down timer is 15 seconds. This is the uptime. SRTT meaning smooth round trip timer, time taken by the eigrp to send update and receive acknowledgement, total round trip, and this is measured in milliseconds. Automatically eigrp is doing this measurement in millisecond. Next number you have retransmission out, meaning router sending eigrp update but not receiving acknowledgement. That means total round trip is not completed. Okay, now eigrp also have capability to retransmit, give me the acknowledgement, give me acknowledgement. But what is the interval between each unicast packet? That is decided by this retransmission out. So this time is in millisecond, meaning the interval between each unicast packet. Each retransmitted unicast packet which is eigrp sending if it is not getting acknowledgement. And how many packets it will send? It will send 16 packet. Send me acknowledgement, send me acknowledgement at the interval of RTO, automatic calculated timer. And after 16th packet, no reply, reset neighborship or remove the neighbor from the neighbor list. Queue count meaning 0 is good because there is no packet in the CPU queue. And sequence number 3 meaning how many changes you have done in that neighbor. So number of changes is reflected by the sequence number. So similarly I can configure all my rest of the router. So go for R4, and in R4 I have again 3 interfaces. Global mode, interface F1/1. This is the link facing to R2 with the IP address 24.4. Second link I have F00. This is the link going to R3 with the IP address 172.16.34.4. And there is also the link going to down to R6 F1/0. Now shut down 172.16.46.4. Shut down. Then run the eigrp process by using the AS number must match, which is 123. Advertise network using the network command, using this approach. That's it. You will see now 2 neighbors discovered by this R4. Continue to configure. Save the configuration. You have the command WR, or you can also use copy running configuration to startup config. So saving your running configuration into startup config. Go for R5. And F00, no shutdown. IP number for this 35.5, and F1/0. IP number for this one is 1656.5. Run the eigrp router eigrp123. Note or summary is not required here, starting with the iOS version 15.0. But best practice, you can use this command. This will remove any configuration connectivity problems. And then you have router number 6, which is F1/0. This is the link facing to R4 with the IP number 46.6, and bring the link in upstate. We are using command no shutdown. This is the interface F00. That link is going to R5 with IP number 56.6. And you have also the loopback interface, which is simulating the IP prefix going to your data center resources.
Come again. The loopback interface.
So loopback interface for extra indicating extra network, because I don't have any instead of connecting the router here, to simulate extra link or extra network.
Oh, okay. And the one to
It's kind of it's a logical.
172.16.
Yeah, it is 172.16.60.6.
Okay, so it's simulating an external network.
Not external, extra,
Extra.
rather than connecting any host.
It's logical.
It's logical subnet.
Okay.
The show IP interface. I can configure many loopback interfaces in Cisco routers. This is your loopback interface. It is similar to your physical link, but it is logical. Difference is it is logical. It is not present. I mean, it is not physically present on this device. Router eigrp 123 advertise network using this network advertisement, and now you have reachability to all. So in this example, for router 6 perspective, you should have two neighbor,
Yes.
5 and 4.
Yeah.
How to confirm? Show eigrp neighbor. So this is your router number 5, that one is your router number 4 IP address. If you go to router number 3, you're expecting 3 neighbor. For router 3 perspective, you must have 3 neighbor.
Router 4, router 5.
Show IP eigrp neighbor. This is your router number 5, this is your router number 2, and that one is your router number, this is your router number 4, and that one is your router number 2. 3 neighbors.
Yeah.
Similarly, for router 4 perspective, you again have
Neighbors.
3 router.
So 4, 3, 4.
Show IP eigrp neighbor. This one is router number 6, this is router number 3, and that one is your router number 2. So you have eigrp is configured. We discover neighborship is also discovered, and it is active. Now if I go for router number 6 and will see for, let us assume that if I see for this network 23.0 in R6, so there is 2 paths available, path number 1, path number 2 for R6 perspective. Show IP eigrp topology, and my root number is 172.16.23.0. It will see I don't have any entry. 23.0. So let me check show IP eigrp. This will also expecting subnet mask. Subnet mask also. So here I can see that eigrp topology entry for I'm looking for I was looking for only one network. It will say,
Show the topology for the whole network.
yeah, it will, no, this will save to reach this destination. So this is your root, okay, and this number, this is using as a ID meaning router ID. Although eigrp is not using the router ID concept, but it is still required in eigrp to start the process. This is the entry for this network 23.0/24, and for this network you can see state is passive. Passive meaning topology is stable.
Passive means the topology
Passive
is
meaning
stable.
good.
Okay.
Active meaning bad.
Is that no, like the router knows the route to that place already?
Yeah, and topology is now stable, active, and root is installed in routing table. You can see for this destination you have a two successor, meaning two path. This is your path number 1, and that one is your path number 2. Two neighbor,
Okay.
the two path. For the path number 1, feasible distance is this value.
33280.
This is the result of eigrp metric calculation. So first number you can see this is your feasible distance, that one is your advertised distance reported by the neighbor. So feasible distance and advertised distance, and the route is internal meaning its AD is 90, and it is using this minimum bandwidth 100 MB. Total delay for this network is 300 microsecond. Reliability is this one, load is this one. So all these parameter, but for in order to calculate this feasible distance, it is only using these two value, bandwidth and delay.
Yeah, it will be the same on the 5-6 network.
And
It will be the same on the 5 to 6 network, router 5 to router 6.
yeah, it is same.
Okay.
Yeah, so because all link have the same bandwidth. Now here you can see who is originating this this update. Originator.
Router 1 to router 2.
This is the router ID of this router.
Yeah.
Same thing we can see on the next network. Originating router is 35.5. This is the router ID of, because this link is connected with 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So both router is originating this update. And this information I can also see if I using show eigrp topology. So this will give me all the possible route which is learned by this router 6 from their neighbor. And for this destination I can see I have two successor.
Hold on a second. It's the same IP ERG topology command.
Yeah, show IP eigrp topology.
And this time it's showing you all the paths.
All route which is available
Okay, the first one
in the
you run
topology table,
IP ERG topology with
and with specific prefix.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was using for detailed information for this prefix.
Okay.
So now you can see for this network, this is the destination.
Yes.
For this destination, this router have two successor.
Yeah.
Successor meaning two path, meaning two next hop. In other words,
Yes.
two gateway. This is the gateway number 1, gateway number 2, because both gateway feasible distance is equal.
Yeah.
So both is best, and both is downloaded in the routing table. Show IP route. If you see this, D meaning eigrp route, meaning dual algorithm. This is the destination. This one is my AD, and that is your feasible distance. Next hop number 1 56.5, next hop number 2 46.4. Because both is best, both is going in the routing table. So in these examples, if I only want to see one path in the routing table, other as a backup, so I can tune my delay value. So here let us assume that what I want best path to go to this destination is I want this interface f1/0, and this will be your second best,
Okay.
I mean feasible successor. So I will go to interface number f1/0 and we'll say delay is 1. This is the multiplier of 10. If I'm saying delay 1, That means if I see now f1/0, you can see the delay is 10 microseconds, multiplier of 10. And similarly, I will go to the next interface, which is f00, and here I will say delay is 2. This will be 20 microseconds. This is your 20 microseconds. Now if I look for my topology table, show IP eigrp topology, so now I can see there is only one successor. And which one is the best? Which is having this feasible distance. Which one is this number? 30976. And the next hop is 46.4. But the second path is also available, and this one is the feasible successor. Reason being, alternate AD is less than the current best path feasible distance. The condition is true, so the backup is available, but in the topology table it will only download best path, which is your successor. The next stop should be 46.4. And now if I do the trace route for this destination 172.16, let's say 23.3, so first hop will be R4. So first hop is R4, second hop is router number 2, and then this is the final hop. So traffic is going this way, 6 to 4, 4 to 2, and then 2 to 3. Next, in eigrp, this is basic configuration. So you have reachability to all my possible destination, but this cannot ping 888. R6 cannot access internet. So here, in order to access internet, what is happening so far here? Because router 6 have no idea about 888, so it is looking the local table. 888 is not there, packet is dropped. So what R6 need in order to route this packet, it need default route. So what I will do, I will go to router number 2 and will redistribute, because router 2 can ping 888. It has a static default route. So I will go to this, and I have a default route in my local routing table, which is this one. So I will go to eigrp process, router eigrp123, and will say redistribute static. The moment I do this, show IP eigrp topology here, I can also see route is redistributed. This one, default route is redistributed via static. So static protocols. So that means if I go to R6 and will see this update in all the routers within the eigrp, you will see this now external route, show IP route, and this one is your external default route, D with X default route. You can see for default route prefix length always will be 0. This is your external AD, which is 170. That one is the metric. Can I reach 888 from here? Ping 88888. It is timeout. Why it is timeout? So see, routing is bidirectional. I am sending traffic to ISP router. ISP router do not know how to send traffic back to the source.
Okay.
Source route is what? Show IP interface brief.
So it's not that.
Some sending traffic by using this source address 46.6, but ISP router do not know about this update, because I'm not advertising private IP network to my ISP cloud.
Okay, so it's not receiving the ping reply.
Yeah, so I'm sending request, but I'm not receiving reply.
Yeah.
The problem is on the receiver side, because receiver do not know how to send traffic back.
By actual fact, R1 is receiving the ping from R6. In actual fact,
Everyone will
R1
receive
is
from
receiving
R6,
from
but
R6.
it's not sending. They cannot send back the reply.
for
It is
R6
not
to
sending.
confirm. Not reply, like ping reply.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, even though here in these examples, no one is receiving request. Because this, see, router 6 originating ping packet, it will see in the local routing table. Because local routing table destination is not there, packet is dropped on that router. And here in this examples, yes, no, you have a default route. So what is happening here? You have a default route, and let me send ping to 88888, receive with the repeat count this number. Request time is out. Okay, and if I go to it will say I have a default route, I am sending to the next hop, and go to R4, and here I will say debug IP packet. So it will say I am getting something, so let me turn off. So it's sending local hello message here,
Okay.
local hello message 24.4 46 dot, you have this 46 dot, source is 46.6, destination, this is your multicast link local address, and it will say forwarding check is false. Forwarding check is false. And if I go to let's say router number 2 or router number 1, let's say router number 1 is receiving anything or not receive. So far here it do not know any route. There is no 172.16 network in the routing table of R1. Debug IP packet detail on all. So it is receiving the request, see. So it will say that I am receiving the packet with the source 46.6 to the destination 888 with the ICMP type code is 8, and it will say forwarding is false, forwarding check is false.
Okay.
And now it is sending reply, but because routing is failed, because root is not in the routing table.
Yeah.
Root is not in the routing table. This is the indication. So packet from local source 888 with the destination 46.6,
It's not known.
it is says routing is failed. So it is receiving the ICMP echo message but failed to send reply packet.
Yeah.
This is because it has no idea how to send traffic back. It is unroutable. See, unroutable message. Now in order to solve this, because this is the ISP router and private IP is not allowed in the ISP cloud.
Yeah.
So what you need NAT here. So I'm not describing NAT so far, but just to simulate this process, I will configure one type of NAT which is known as PAT, port address translation, which is also known as one to many. So one public, many private user. So in this examples, router 2 will be the NAT router. I will go with the NAT concept later on in the IP services section. There is many other topic. But here, to simulate this how the all the router can ping to the ISP network, I will go to my, this is the edge router, in this example router number 2, and here I will configure NAT entry for all my private IP, and for this you have to be configure access list. Again I will discuss what is access list.
In this case, hold on. In this case, you configure the NATs on
Edge router, edge on router 2. Yes, router 2 is the edge. Edge meaning router which is connecting to the ISP.
Yeah.
Here router 2 is the edge routers. So now I am on the edge router. I will allow my all the private IP by creating access list. I will discuss what is ACL later on also in the IP services section. But here I am simply creating ACL, matching the wildcard, because destination is, here the protocol number will be IP, this is my source, and destination is unknown because it is internet traffic, but I know my source. This is my source IP subnet. Next I will say IP NAT inside source. It is not static. My source is ACL list, which is list number 100. Since I am configuring PAT, for PAT I need only one public IP, which is I am taking this interface IP F00, and with the PAT overload is mandatory keyword. Now third commands, the link which is facing to outside F00, this need to be configured with IP NAT outside, and all the link facing down, that will be configured with IP NAT inside. So IP NAT outside meaning link going towards ISP, IP NAT inside meaning link facing towards your internal router. So in this examples I have F00, IP NAT inside, second link F1/1, IP NAT inside. So now all the routers within my eigrp network should able to access internet. And if I go to R6 now, you can see ping already start. The communication is started to the 888, and for the router 2, this is making a translation table, show IP NAT translation. You can see the protocol is ICMP here. This is your public IP purchased by you. This is your private IP which is belongs to your autonomous system. And outside local and outside global, both is not your control. So that is both is outside. So you have no control on these destination. So most of the time you will see the local and the global is the same number, but in some scenario it might be changed. But both is not under your control, and my control IP address is this one, because this is the inside global and this is the pool of public IP I buy from the service provider, and these are my internal user IP address. Now if I go back to what will be the destination for ISP perspective.
From ISP perspective, the destination will be.
Let me pause video here. Authentication. So eigrp support Md5 authentication and eigrp.
Have you resumed the recording?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
So recording is on.
Okay.
So here to simulate authentication, I will configure authentication between 2 and 3 on this link.
Okay.
So authentication on per neighbor basis or per link basis.
In this case, where we have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 links within our autonomous system.
Yeah, so it is on a neighbor basis, per neighbor basis. So I'm here in this topology I will configure between 2 and 3 only to simulate how to configure authentication. So I will go to router number 2.
Just the recording time is stopped for what's recording?
Okay, sure.
Okay.
It is going on.
Thank you.
Okay, so then here to configure the authentication in eigrp, eigrp is using the concept of keychain, and keychain need to be configured globally. Keychain demand any name, so name is locally significant here. So I will say, let's say name is ccnp. It is case sensitive although. Now within the keychain I can set multiple key and their password. So key is identified with unique ID, and that ID and password must match.
Okay.
So ID going to be specified with key and key number. So if I pick key number 1 on router number 2, so you make sure you're configuring key number 1 in both other router also. So key ID 1, and now I need to be specify key string meaning password. So here I will say Cisco. Once I do this, if I see show keychain,
Cisco,
in the show keychain I can see keychain name is ccnp and key ID is 1 with the password is Cisco. Accept time is valid and send time is valid. Now I need to be configure this is on per interface basis. I will go to this link f1/0 and we'll say eigrp IP authentication eigrp IP authentication keychain first, and name of the keychain. Okay, eigrp. What is the process number for eigrp I'm using here? 1 2 3, and then the name of the keychain. So it is case sensitive. It should be now in caps word. Then which method I want to use. So far I'm not specifying which hashing method I'm using. I'm only specifying the key. So IP authentication, and then it will say which mode. So mode for eigrp so far is for the AS number Md5 only. Md5 supported hash. So mode is on. The moment you enter the flag, you can see neighborship is down.
Yeah.
So authentication flag must match on the both side. So show IP eigrp interface number here f1/0, and there is no detail, interface detail f1/0. So for this link you can see authentication mode is Md5 and keychain is ccnp, and you do not have any neighbor on this link. So this is, we can confirm by using neighbor command. So you have only neighborship with R4, but there is no neighborship with R3. That means show run section keychain. So copy this configuration command and paste on R3. This is on a global mode. Then go to the interface f0/0, go back to router number 2, show run interface f1/0, copy these two commands, IP authentication mode and keychain, paste here. If everything is fine, once again you will see the discovery is up. So discovery is up, yes, adjacency is up. Show IP eigrp neighbor. So once again I have the neighborship with router number 2. So this way we can configure authentication. Now all the eigrp packet is authenticate with Md5 flag. Next you have, after authentication,
One minute. So what this means is that currently within our autonomous system we have only one interface where we have the authentication link.
yeah, in this examples only neighborship is active between 2 and 3 neighbor. There is no there is no authentication between 2 and 4.
Okay. Okay. So they are not
But
seen as neighbors per se.
it is per interface basis.
Yeah.
Actually,
No,
you are
sorry,
sending the hello
it's
message through the
interface.
interface. So hello message is going through the interface.
Okay.
So suppose if you're going to be suppress hello message, there is no neighborship.
Okay, so it will show the interface alright, but it will show as a neighbor.
It will show.
Let's say if we show the IP interface, we'll see the interface is alright, but we won't see the neighbors.
If I go
If the
for
conditions
show
are- if
IP
the conditions
eigrp
interface
interfaces,
You will see
I
all
can
the
see
interface.
here peer.
Yes.
Peer is one, yes. And if I see detail, so I will see this information on that interface.
First one, authentication mode is Md5 key
Yeah.
CCMP, but the second one, authentication mode is not set.
Yeah.
So does that mean for interface F11, then that means there's no neighbor?
There is no authentication.
There's no authentication.
There is a neighbor, but there is no authentication.
Authentication is not
Okay.
set.
Authentication is not enabled
Okay.
on that interface.
Okay. So the hello will work on F10 but not on F11.
Hello?
No,
Hello
it
message.
will still work with that neighbor. It's like it's on interface, is interface to interface.
Yeah.
So between you and I, we have decided to implement authentication.
Yeah.
But between me and him,
You've
we
not
said no
There is no authentication.
But
Okay.
I'll see
But
him
also
as neighbor,
okay.
I'll see you as neighbor.
Alright, that one is more secure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next one, after this you have load balance. eigrp support equal as well as unequal. So if I go for R6, router 6 here. So for router 6 perspective, router 6 only have, let me stop this pinging. So show IP eigrp topology, and for router, if I look for this prefix, there is only one successor. So what I want to implement unequal cost load balance for this destination.
Okay.
In this example, your feasible distance is different.
Yeah.
But the first condition to support unequal cost, I must have a feasible successor, which is I have.
Yeah.
So simply what I will do, and by default variance is 1, so eigrp support only equal cost load balance. But here what I will do, I will simply change the variance with the multiplier value 2. So if I multiply this number with 2, that is going to be covered this value also.
Come in.
If I multiply this value with 2,
Yeah.
so that means this value is also included.
Yeah.
Okay?
Meaning if we multiply this by 2, it will become higher.
If I multiply this one 30976
Okay.
multiply by 2,
That means that
so any number within this range is all will be downloaded in routing table.
Okay.
So in order to do this, I will go with router eigrp process number, and with the help of variance I will set variance is 2. So now if I see do show IP protocol, so now the variance is 2. The result is do show IP eigrp topology. I can see now I have 2 successor, but both have different physical distance. But successor meaning both is best, so both will now download it in the routing table. You can see I have both next hop in the routing table.
Okay.
So this is the examples of how you can configure unequal cost load balance in eigrp.
Okay.
So when you see root, so it will send traffic to both these.
The administrator is tweaking the network.
Yeah.
When you said it yesterday, when we discussed the load balancing at first, I thought once you implement the variance change, and then the physical distance changes. So then it will select, let's say, the alternate distance link as the main default, not the default, but as the main routing link to be added to the routing table. So I thought in this case, like the way the times 2, we have 61,952, and then the alternate, the physical, what's the name of that now? The
alternate
the advertised
distance
for the feasible
successor
would then have been lower than this 61,000. So I thought to take out the 30,900 and then make the 31,000 the main route to use.
No.
Oh, okay.
So this is what the meaning of how to configure unequal cost load balance.
Okay. So
Simply look for
your main route remains your main route. It's
Yeah.
just that now you added the physical
alternate path also added in the routing table. Earlier there was only one successor in the routing table. Now you also adding the feasible successor also in the routing table.
Yeah. I get it.
So load balancing, then you have summarization. Here what I want with this I want so far your router 5 can also access internet ping to 888, so it is also reachable to 888, right? Idea is that, and if I see routing table, I can see many eigrp route.
Yeah.
I want to minimize this routing overhead. So the route which is originate from the HQ side, for example 23, 24 and 34, I want to remove these route from the routing table and want to suppress with default route. So summary default route. So best summarization is default route. So I will go to this HQ router. These are 3 and 4 is my HQ router, and on this link facing towards branch router, because summarization is again is on per interface basis. And on this link I will advertise summary default route. How to do this? First I will go to R3, and so far it knows how to reach this destination. External route, right? The route is there in the routing table. So I will go to F1/1 link facing down to R5, and will give the command IP summary address eigrp AS number is 123, and then what is your summary route? Here my summary route is default route, like this. By default AD is 5. So if I press enter, the same command I will configure on R4 side, the link facing down to R6. F1/0 and enable. Result is now if I go to if I stay on R4, show IP eigrp, let me show you, show IP route 0.0.0. You can see now I have this default route, and this is known via eigrp with the distance value is 5, and since it is originator of the summary default route, it is pointing this route to null 0, and this null 0 to design avoid looping of packet, because this is the originator router. The result is show IP route. It has only this route, but it lost ISP default route. The result is it will ping 888, no communication to 888, so traffic is going to this default route, pointing to null, traffic is dropped on this local router. if I go to R5, so for R5 perspective, show IP route, I can see only the other update like 23, 24, that is now suppressed. So it is getting this summary default route from the upstream router. So it can ping internal eigrp route, for example 172.16 ping 172.16.23.2, it is reachable, the internal route, but it has no connectivity to internet, unreachable, because route is not there. So what I want scalability also by using this, sending summary default route to all my branch router, but at the same time I also want internet connectivity.
Okay.
This is I can solve by changing the administrative distance during the eigrp summary route configuration. So here if I go back to R3 and if I say the administrative distance is higher than the external AD value, so let's say 171. Same thing I will do on, so again sending the update, same thing I will do on R4 link facing to which interface it is, it is F1/0 interface F1/0, and then say, oops, I don't know what I copy, F1/0 do show run interface F1/0. I have this one and I will set AD for this is 171, higher than, so that I can install ISP route. Idea is that so that I can install ISP route. Show IP route, result is external route is again in the routing table. And if I go to R5, show IP route, it is installing external route, but there is no specific other HQ route. Result is ping 888 is reachable. So again you have now connectivity back to your ISP network. At the same time you also have scalability. So all the branch router is only getting this default route. I go to 6, show IP route, only this.
Let me just get this. So what you've done right now is to summarize the connection between router 2, router 3, router 4 to the ISP, to each of the branch routers.
Yeah, so what I did here, you can see earlier router, this router 3 and 4 is advertising this network, is advertising this network, advertising this network.
Yes.
So with the summary default route I am summarizing this and only sending summary route down to this branch routers, only summary default route. The result is now this router is saving routing overhead by not installing all the specific route but only default route which is required for communications.
Okay. And when you were doing this, what you added was the route 0.0.0.0.
Yeah, so when I do this I am using this command. So this is my summary default route. So for example, if I go back to this R3 and my interface number is do show run interface F1/1. So this is my default route. If I am not advertising default route, then what is the other alternative to originate summarization. So I can also say like this: f1/0 IP summary address. I can also say like this: so I want to summarize, I want to only send this one with this approach. So I'm only sending this summary, but this is the ultimate summarization for everything.
Okay. Okay. Now I get it.
Okay, so next one you have stub routing. So here stub routing, idea is that
So in this case, whereas yesterday we calculated maybe if we wanted to advertise just a part of the network, then we did the summary based on which objects.
yeah. So this is we can also do that.
Okay.
That is we can also do that. But here the goal is that only send default route to your branch router. And let's say there is other routers where you want to send default route plus specific update also.
So assuming we wanted to send summary routes for the rest of the autonomous network to, let's say, our edge router, then that's where we would implement which of the octets is changing and so forth. And
Yeah, in that case you need to find out specific summary address.
Okay.
Because default route is not advisable on everywhere. You have to understand topology where you are going to be generate a default route. If everywhere there is a default route, there will be a loop.
Alright.
So next I will configure 5 and 6 as a stub router.
Yeah.
So one single line command here, and I will go to 5. I'll go to eigrp process and we'll say eigrp stub. If I'm not using any extra keyword, different types of stub: connected, redistribute, static, summary. I can also send all these. By default, eigrp only sending connected and summary route.
Okay.
So eigrp stub, do show IP protocol. By default, it's only sending connected and summary route. The same thing I will do on R6 side. Router eigrp 123, and we'll say eigrp stub. So by default, it's sending only connected and summary route. The result is, if I see prefix number now, there is a prefix here 172.16.60.0. This is the prefix, right?
Yeah.
This prefix is directly connected with R6. So R6 advertising is to its own neighbor, but R5 is also configured with stub. So this is receiving this prefix but not advertising to R3. The result is, if I go for R3, R3 will see this prefix via R4 only, or it may see like this, through this, depending upon what is the best path. If I go to R3 and show IP route, look for the prefix 60. You can see this one, 60.0. Next hop is 34.4. And in these examples I can ping this network 60.6. If I do the trace route 172.16.60.6, the first hop is 4 and then second hop is 6. What if I shut down both these links, this one and this one? Then there is no backup for this destination. So interface range f00, comma f1/0, and I will shut down these two interface. Now I have the neighborship between 3 and 5. Show IP eigrp neighbor. So there is a neighborship between 3 and 5. If I go to 5, so 5 is learning that update. Show IP route show IP root. So 5 is learning this update via R6. So 5 can ping this network 172.16.60.6, but router 2 have no idea how to reach this destination because there is no route available for this destination 66.6.
When R6 shared the information to both R5 and R4, but router 2 also has a connection directly with the 24.4.
Router 2 also have connection to
The 24.4 to the router.
Yeah,
okay,
so
you shut down
2 can ping.
You shut down the 4.6.6.
2 can ping, yes. If I go to 2, so 2 should able to ping because it has a reachability. So show IP route. 2 is learning this via R4.
Yeah.
But for router 2 perspective, router 3 perspective, both link is down.
Okay.
And 5 is not sending any update to R3. And this is I can solve with the help of leak map.
Because you are not advertising.
Now there is one more tool I'm going to be used. Again, I will explain that tool in the route filtering section, IP services section. But here, in order to advertise this specific update, I have to be classify the prefix, and classification I'm doing with the help of prefix list. So here, prefix list and route map need to be applied. So what is prefix list, what is route map, what is distribute list, different types of route filtering tool. This will be specifically I will cover when I go for route redistribution scenario.
Just a second before you continue. So far, we've only configured
Let
router
me
6.
resume this video. Go to router number 5. You can see in R5 this route is available. Show IP route. In the router 5 routing table, this route is there.
Yeah.
So I will take this route, classify with prefix list, IP prefix list ABC, permit, route number is 60.0/24. This is my prefix list. And then I will create a route map with the name ABC. Then I will say match IP address, prefix list, name of the prefix list, which is case sensitive ABC, and then I will go to eigrp, router eigrp123. I will say eigrp stub, and then I will say the feature leak map. Allow dynamic prefixes based on leak map. So leak map, and this is asking what is the name of the route map. It will not say the name of the route map, it will say the name of the leak map, and leak map name is calling to route map. So route map name here I have ABC. Now it will explicitly advertise this update, upstream update. Now result is, if I go to R3, so R3 now should receive this update from R5. It is receiving this update now via R5 35.5 and ping to 60.6. It is reachable. So this is all about your eigrp. The link is up, everything is up. So I have now the backup alternate path is also available for that destination prefix, if in the absence of, if this link is down or that link is down, you go to same destinations. Okay, so this is all about eigrp, and I will stop this.